Well, this is just a preview of the HHO kit. This is from Liberty Industries. I got it off of eBay. The same one I got in the little Suzuki 4x4, except this is the largest unit. It's a 21 plate. You can see it's got 2 positive, 2 negative leads, and all the rest are neutrals. The neutrals aren't really neutral. Okay, they do get an electrical charge somehow through the electrolyte, and they work in conjunction with the actual physically connected leads. So all these plates will produce hydrogen in between them. So what happens is you put in this. I think this is the outlet. You screw in the little barb that goes in there. They're in here and right here. See, they're right there. And there'd be an inlet and an outlet. Okay, I think this is the inlet because it's on near the top, and it comes off a hose off of this. So it feeds from there, and it comes back in to the top, and this comes out. Once this builds up pressure, this goes into what you call the bubbler, and it goes in this side. You can see where the hose is. And this is partly filled with water, mostly filled with water. So when the electrolyte gas, or say the HHO's gas, goes through the water, it gets rid of the contaminants. Now I have an extra bubbler, so it's going to go through 2 of them because I'm going to use this for me. This isn't just going in an engine, this is going in me. So I'm going to be breathing the gas, drinking the water. I'm going to set this up in a computer case. This is a large computer case, and I'm going to paint this gold. I got some gold paint for it. And I'm going to have to go down to Lowe's to get some of these bolts because I'm going to bolt this through the computer case with a nut on the other side. I think these are not 1/4 inch. I thought they were 1/4 inch. They might be 6 millimeter. So I'm going to have to take one of these nuts off and go down to Lowe's and get the correct size. I'll have it bolted inside the case and drill a bunch of holes and put nuts on the other side, and have a spot for where this barb comes through the other side, and it'll be mounted in this case. And the reason I like this case is because it's got this. You see how this stand can open? You can pull this up all the way on both sides. It's got a really wide stand, so it's not going to fall over, because you don't want it to fall over, because what's going to go in there is a caustic solution that makes the electrolyte. I'm not sure if I'm going to use this stuff or the stuff I had before in that thing, because I set that up a few years ago. I have never cleaned out the HHO in it at all. Whatever the hell I put in there to make for the electrolyte has never dirtied this system where it clogged. It works perfect. For a few years now, no problem. I'm not sure if I'm going to use this stuff or the same stuff I used in the other one. This is food grade potassium hydroxide flakes. It's very caustic, but that's why you run the HHO gas through a bubbler. It purifies it. You don't need to run it through 2 bubblers, but I'm being extra cautious. What I'm going to power it with is just a standard Schumacher battery charger. It's a manual one. It's capable of 50 amps. Now I know the one in my little 4x4 over there, that thing puts out a good amount of bubbles. I mean, I don't know what the hell it's putting out. If it's putting out a 3/4 of a liter a minute or something, or maybe a liter of a minute when I'm cruising down a highway. But I'm only drawing about 3 or 4 amps. It's like hardly nothing. And this thing is capable of, if I put this on here and it's running like, I don't know, 8 amps or 10 amps or something like that. Let's say 8 amps. Keep it on 8 amps. This is going to be producing plenty of freaking hydrogen. Plenty. And the way you regulate it is through how much of an electrolyte solution you put in there. Like last time, I think what I put in there was like a level tablespoon, and I think I increased it a couple times a little bit. But I never really had to do nothing with this unit, even when I was driving it with the car, other than fill up the bubbler once in a while. And this is the drain plug for it. So this is, this is going to be made for health. So hopefully I have this together tonight, but I want to show the kit outside, outside in being installed. I mean, I've shown it many times on the Suzuki over there. I'll show it to you again. It's got a relay in there, and it's got a switch. And I'm not going to be needing this part because all I need to do is connect this to a couple of like bolts, probably stainless steel bolts, that'll be insulated from the case, and then just hook up the 2 leads on this and it'll power it up. I don't need to have relays and all this kind of crap because I'm just going to be making hydrogen water, or HHO water, for drinking and breathing. So we'll see how this works out. But again, you want to run it through at least 1 bubbler. 2 bubblers is actually overkill. It's going to definitely be purified through 1 bubbler, but I'm doing 2 bubblers. And the other thing is, this bubbler is not, you can't really disassemble it. You could drain it, but there could be some like dirty water on the inside of here, so these are like glued together. You really can't scrub this out. This one, this cap unscrews on this, so this will be the secondary filter. So if I really, in other words, if this one's getting a little dingy on the inside, I can just drain the water but it probably won't it might be getting 99.9% of the impurities out. But if I take this one and go through this one again, plus I can clean it out because this cap unscrews, I'll be getting 100% of the impurities out. So, but this thing is probably the most life-extending thing you can possibly do. It's kind of like in its infancy, and you could see some, and I think a lot of people don't really go hardcore using this a lot every day. But after a period of time, you actually go backwards in age biologically. That's how freaking powerful this stuff is, because your body is mostly water, and your body has twice as much hydrogen as oxygen, and it has a lot of hydrogen. The electrical condition of your body, I could tell you, I'm not sure exactly how all this works, but I could tell you that this is one of the reasons I think the zapper works so good, because it's putting in like the power zapper. I'm going to open up the hood on here and show you what's installed in here, but this is an engine application. But like the power zapper, I think it's adding an electron, like it's acting like an electron donor to the the body, especially like the blood, because the blood is mainly water, so the electrical current goes through it, and it might be helping with the body produce hydrogen. Even though I know the body produces the hydrogen mostly in the intestinal tract, it might be going on a cellular level. So anyway, you can see this is this is the medium sized unit. This unit is actually overkill for this little 80 cc engine. 80 cubic inch engine, 1300 cc's. I think it's an 18 plate. This one is actually for like a mid-size, small V8 or big 6. This one is actually overkill for this engine, but I put this gauge in here to see the amps, just to see, because I know it can handle like supposedly 30 amps, but I could say more like 15, 20 safely. But even at 4 amps, this thing puts out plenty. This was just an extra, I use this as an extra gasket. It's a plastic bag to make sure it seals up good. But again, that's where the electrolyte is here. I've never freaking messed with this 3 years. Put the electrolyte in there, maybe added a little more a couple times, a little extra electrolyte. It just runs. I don't know. The only thing I really had to do was change out the bubbler water sometimes. This is a backfire thing. You might want to install that. In other words, that's a one-way valve in case you have a backfire in the carburetor. I don't know if you need to do that for the health purposes, but that might not be a bad idea. Again, that's the bubbler. That is, I showed you separately. That's the container. And I'll mount it the same way. I'm just going to mount this to the side of the computer case. This has to be higher than this so the water flows in there. It's gravity feed. In the wintertime, you would just put some like rubbing alcohol, isopropyl alcohol in there or something like that, to keep it from freezing the water. That's all you would do. I don't have to worry about that because I'm down in Florida, but that's all you would have to do with that stuff. Very simple. So I'm going to be getting the bolts right now, and that's the relay for it right there, and I have it hooked up to a power source that only works when the key is on. So actually I leave this switch on, so as soon as I start the car up, that little switch goes on, the light lights up blue right there. So anyway, it's been reliable as crap, but I'm not going to even have to install the relay or the switch. It's just going to be a couple of posts for positive and negative off that manual battery charger. Just hook them up and let it run. And we'll see how this works. I want to see if I can get this set up pretty easily, so I can just take that computer case and run this with ease without, because the unit that, like say for, I noticed George Wiseman is very famous with this stuff. He actually sold the units for welding originally, because HHO has several applications. You can use it for increasing your gas mileage. It does that by not adding fuel per se. It does that by making a more complete burn of the existing fuel, a faster burn. That's why it gives you more mileage, and it works best on carbureted cars. I mean, with an O2 sensor, you probably would only want to add the hydrogen side only, not the oxygen side, because it'll screw with the O2 sensor on a 1996 or whatever, any car that's got an O2 sensor, probably from the late 80s or mid 80s on. That doesn't have an O2 sensor, so I don't have that problem. So that's one application, is the fuel mileage. Number two application is you can actually weld with this stuff. And I was thinking is, I want to have it in its computer case, because I'm not sure how much output I need to make it a welder, or something that can heat up metal so I can bend it. What I was thinking is, if it's powerful enough, I can use it for making the cannon carriage parts, and maybe make more cannon carriage parts and make more cannon carriages with the metal parts, or automotive applications for bending steel or whatever. Because I only have a couple MIG welders. I don't have an acetylene or propane or welder or anything like that. I just have the two MIGs. So this would be a very safe way of heating up metal to get melted or welded, if it's got enough capacity. That's one reason I want to have it in this computer case. And the main reason is the health reasons, because the little hydrogen bottles they sell, they don't put out a lot of hydrogen. I mean, it's doing you some kind of good. The ones they sell on Amazon, it's pure hydrogen, it's not HHO. They don't put out a lot of hydrogen. This, I mean, even that thing, when I have that on, putting out the HHO, you can see like all the large bubbles, it's putting out many, many, many more times than that little hydrogen water bottles they sell on eBay and Amazon and stuff. And it's really putting a charge in the water. So I'm thinking about this with breathing, and also drinking the hydrogen water, HHO water from this, because it's going to be extremely powerful. So anyway, and I'm not sure about using this, because the other stuff I used in that thing, it's been in there for years. Well, we'll see. It's not going to be, if this gets a little bit clogged up or something, it's not going to be hard to clean it out, because it's not going to be installed in the vehicle. It's just going to be in this case. And I may get, if this works out, I'll probably get one for the El Camino. But I got a rear brake that's dragging slightly. I think I need to fix that first before I forget to fix the gas mileage and doing this. But this is the kit outside of being installed. This is a 21 plate unit. This is the thing the catalyst, and it feeds into that with a hose. Then it comes back out and runs into here. Then it comes back out and it goes into the bubbler, which comes out. It goes into the engine. In my case, it's going to go into another bubbler and then back into the water that I'm going to drink. These are the wires in the relay. These are the barbs that screw into this. You put them in there with some some Teflon tape. Make sure they're good. They're solid. And this is the electrolyte. So this will be my power source. So. Kick ass, huh? Wait, over and out.